House to Home, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Half a day and happy Tuesday, and real estate is being celebrated. And because it is June, we are celebrating Home Ownership Month. I bet you didn't know it was like that. But Liz and Gina are here from RE/MAX Diamond Realty Guam to tell us exactly about that. So ladies, happy Home Ownership Month. Because of you, so many people now have achieved the American dream of owning their own home. So I mean, it's much a celebration of the two of you and your colleagues and the very fine work that you all do, as well as, you know, the larger macro industry. So, you know, before we get into this this interview, what thoughts have each of you on what this means?
Well, for Home Ownership Month, the governor has did a proclamation, and the legislature also presented their resolution to the Guam Association of Realtors in conjunction with Home Ownership Month. Now, Home Ownership Month was declared the month of June as home ownership, and with different presidents who supported the work of the real estate community in, you know, the American dream of getting a home. So on Guam, Gina and I, of course, along with the Guam Association of Realtors, our objective is to help people find the home of their dream. Unfortunately, on Guam, there is some limitations in terms of inventory, the inventory and the price due to costs, increase in costs of construction, the limited number of homes that are available that are affordable. So our goal with the Guam Association of Realtors is trying to find mechanisms. How do we work that? How do we make that happen, especially in times where people may have their land, but have the inability to build due to governmental regulations and policies and procedures. So we've been working with the legislature on finding ways to correct some of the laws that are in place to help these people build on their properties.
I'm sure you've had many Zoom calls with Senator Sabina Perez. Is that is directly under her purview? Right,
and we have another one with her today. Excellent. At 1:30 because that would, again, like you said, it's within her purview. Mm-hmm. And then of course there are other senators within that committee. But Gina has been instrumental in reaching out to all the senators to remind them of some of the issues and problems that we are encountering.
Oh, I'm sure of that. I'm sure she's got everybody's number on speed dial, right, Gina?
I wish I had their number on speed dial. The thing is, getting a hold of the senators, it's a difficult process. They are busy, I understand.
They're in the middle of budget hearings.
They're in the middle of something at all times. You know, I get that. So are we. But, you know, one of the things that the Guam Association of Realtors, and this is what, you know, is important to let the community know this month of Home Ownership Month, right? We don't just advocate, and I'm not part of the board, but Liz is our current president. Mm-hmm. And so I salute her because I don't think I could ever do what she does. But part of what the association does is when an issue comes on the table that they know is something that the community is going to need help on, they step in and they make the effort. So recently, some property owners and it's kind of grown bigger, but recently some property owners came to me and they brought up the issue that they're trying to get building permits. So these are people who are not trying to sell. These are people that are actually trying to get permits so they could build in their own properties. I did have one instance of owners trying to sell, but in this case, they came to me and said, you know, we're trying to get a permit for our property. And we're being told that since our lot is less than a half acre and it's over the Guam Waterlands table, so this is the area that the government pumps our drinking water from, and it basically is north all the way down to Chalampago through parts of PD. So that's a very big area. And what EPA has decided to do, and I'm using that word, decided to do, because it wasn't been done before, but recently, like maybe within the last 6 months, the Guam EPA has decided and made the decision to stop building permits if you're in an area and your property is less than half an acre and you're over that water land table. They're not the aquifer. They're no longer going to allow you to get your building permit unless your property was divided through parental subdivision. We've spent some time investigating this. I've gone personally down to meet with Walter Leon Guerrero at Guam EPA and his chief engineer, Brian Bearden. And I've been told that the reason we're not allowed to do this is because they are encouraging the use of nitrate reducing septic tank systems. But unfortunately, the community is not able to put these systems into use because legally it's not allowed. So that just blew my mind. You're encouraging something and you're saying that unless the community uses it, they're not going to be able to get their permit. But on the other hand, you're not allowed to sign off on these nitrate reducing septic tank systems because by law, they're not permitted on Guam. That's a dilemma.
Is there anything more, shall I say, kind of like bittersweet than basically saying, I have land, I either acquired it, it was bequeathed to me, whatever, like how things happen, like on Guam, it was passed down from generation to generation, but I can't do anything with it.
Exactly.
That's hard.
So we're
It's
working
negligent.
with the
It's
legislature.
negligent.
It's
Well, maybe that's a
negligent.
better word, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're working with the legislature to review this, and that was one of the reasons we're meeting with Senator Sabina Perez to look at how do we correct it, and there were resolutions to help in this process. It's just a question of the legislature introducing the bill that will correct this so that it would allow for nitrate systems.
Mhm.
And this is a way to solve the problem. But we, again, we're proactive. We want to help make this happen in order to allow people to build on their property. How frustrating that could be that you're not able to build. You're not able to buy a $500,000, $600,000 home. So your other alternative, let me build on my property. And to tell them, no, you can't do it is really frustrating. And Gina's been there with these people.
I can
We
just see
all
those
have.
conversations. It's like, but it's my property. And
So here's
it's this
what we
vicious
put
cycle,
out.
I would assume.
Exactly. And here's what we want to put out there. It's all there is a solution to the problem. Let's work on the solution to correct it. We can't just turn our back and say, I'm sorry, we can't do this. What is the solution? And the other thing, people of Guam, you need to be vigilant. You need to stand up. You need to speak because we can only go so far, but we need backup. We need each and every one of you to go and fight as well. They need to hear from the consumer.
Well, you know what we're advocating for is
A rising
Don't
tide
say-
raises all ships.
and we're advocate, number one is we do want to contribute to the solution. We want to help out. We don't know what needs to be done, but we certainly can call around and say, hey, these are the people that could give us the ideas, could give us the technology, can provide the service. But for our government to say no and not allow building permits without the solution in place already, it should be no, you cannot use this system, but we've already authorized this. This is the process. These are the people that can provide the service to you. And so what we're trying to promote, the idea that we're trying to promote is don't say no right now. Allow the septic tanks. It's been allowed all these years. I know that this issue with the drinking water needs to be addressed, definitely. But don't say no now without something in place that would allow these constituents, these consumers in the market to build their homes. Give them a timeline and say, listen, we're going to give ourselves 2 years to get the law in place to get the, these tanks available on Guam, because I don't believe there's enough here right now, so that if there are consumers out there want to avail themselves of using, number one, you're not even allowed to, but once that law is in place, and we want to thank Senator Perez for really being instrumental, for even communicating with us, because, Liz mentioned, I'm trying to email all the senators, but really Senator Perez, who I think works with the EPA, so that's why she's instrumental. And even Senator Joanne Brown, when she received the email.
Former director of the EPA, so she knows, she's got firsthand knowledge.
That's right. And that's why I'm so grateful that she made the time to contact me. She made the time to call me and to discuss this with me. She made an effort to give me some ideas of how we could move forward. And she said, that Senator Perez is going to be instrumental in helping us along. So I want to thank those two particular senators for really making, as busy as they are, they're making the effort. And we just want to say that the Guam Association and people like me, I am following up just as a citizen who is concerned. I'm a realtor and I see these things happening, but I'm just following up as a citizen who's concerned. I just want, and Liz is correct, we need to advocate that everyone who has property that is less than half an acre, and you're from Chalampago PD up north, you better get on board our bandwagon and help us, because you might want to build in a few years, your children might want to build. And if this doesn't get resolved, the answer is going to be no.
And looking at the more macro level of the problem, if you're one of those people who's enterprising and said, okay, well, I can't build on it, let me sell it, let me get rid of it and everything, it's got no value now because nobody can build on it.
Exactly. Right. And again, it's about protecting our people, that if you don't want to build and you want to sell, why would anyone to buy it if they are unable to build on it?
Right.
So yes,
it's a fool's deal almost. And
whole deal. That's
okay.
right.
Okay. So before I let you go, we got about 30 more seconds. What is the correct way? So if I see any of my friends who are in real estate, specifically like the two of you, do we say Happy Homeownership Month, Festive Ownership Month? Do we do the half a day home ownership month? What is the correct way to wish someone the best home ownership month you can have?
Just Happy Homeownership Month.
Okay.
And it's coming to an end.
Well, so is our segment, unfortunately, but Happy Homeownership Month, everybody.
Thank you, Jason.
And to the both of you and to your team. Good. There you go. To the both of you, as well as your team too, because you guys do fantastic work. That's our show, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.